Welcome. Hold on, guys. I think you guys can hear me for the time being. Welcome to the House at Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. I am your host, Chief of Raider Nation Hammer.
Acknowledge me.
Hope everybody's having a great Thursday wherever you are. Those coming on in, y'all know the routine. Those new in here, let me teach you real quick. Break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. Yes, news came down the pipe within the last hour or so. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this shit. Like, I just cannot believe it. Wide receiver Amari Cooper, drafted by the Raiders in the first round in 2015, has announced his retirement after signing with us a week ago. Oh my God. The five-time Pro Bowl wide receiver finishes with a career of 711 receptions, 10,033 yards with 64 touchdowns. Honestly, all I could say right now is, fuck! Really? Like, fuck! This is just not the way that we wanted to go into the season. 4 days away from week one for us. It is officially the new Happy New Year, Happy Football New Year today. The Eagles, the Cowboys open it up tonight. But, of course, like, who else but us? Really? Like, who else but us? I'm stunned right now. 10-year career. Yeah, he didn't look like he was in the best of shape. It seemed like the last run and the closest run he would have had to a Super Bowl was with his last team, the Buffalo Bills. Right now, he has officially announced his retirement. The deal, if I remember correctly, would have been up to $6 million total with incentives and everything. I think that's going to be voided entirely. We shall see what happens, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Let's get started with the roll call. Anthony, CGR, Adam Sweeney, Isaiah, Terry Ogden, Lil Tiger, Patrick Ekstrom, Jurassic Raider, Freight Train. What's good, my guy? Adam Sweeney, MGs. See if I'm LV. This is the best way to fucking start this live. This is the best comment to highlight to start this live. Coop cannot compete. He didn't want to be a Raider again. He retired a Raider. Yeah, does it really matter that much to us that he retired? Raider Ross? Whoa. I don't think so. I do not think so. It's just another thing for us to be caught off guard about, be kicked in the dick about. It's a bit much right now. And it's like, when is this ever going to stop? When is the pain going to stop? Raiders were only team stupid enough to sign a salute to Dominique 5. Like, I'm beside myself right now. I'm like really trying to wrap my head around this. It's like you signed him I was going to open with a soft opening. No Diddy if necessary. And pretty much just say it was all good just a week ago. Like, what the fuck? Anthony, stop it. Stop it. Anthony with his crap. Sorry, Wasted. Get the F up out of here with that crap. That probably sounds nothing near as good as he does it either. Every time I hear it, I just start laughing hard as hell. There's something else that just broke, and this is Ari Marav. The Seattle Seahawks will have undercover law enforcement officers wearing opposing team jerseys at Lumen Field this season in an effort to quickly detect and address illegal and unruly fan behavior. Interesting. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything in here right now, anything else that has broke within the last hour or so. There's nothing at this point in time. CGR, don't start. Stop with your shit, please. Should have left that fool on the couch. Pretty much. But again, the money is voided, so it's not that bad. It just sucks that we are in the situation that we're in. Like, we cut everything down to the 53-man roster. It's been a week now, a little over a week. And you brought in Cooper for him to turn around a week later and retire. Like, it's fucking insane. Fucking insane. I got Thornton locked up on my roster, hoping for a good year. I believe he's going to have a really good year. It's funny because I was just talking to some people about him at work the other day. And again, and I've said this to you guys, my opinion, I look at Dante Thornton as the late 90s, early 2000s, prototypical, legit wideout. Tall, speedster, dude can fucking blow the top off. I'm here for it. We are now locked in, ladies and gentlemen. We are moments away. We are looking at it. Y'all know what it is. No Diddy if necessary. The latest installment of
As the Shield turns.
So momentarily, offensive coordinator Chip Kelly and defensive coordinator Patrick Graham will be taken to the podium live. We will obviously bring it to you guys in its entirety. Salute to, how many do we have in here? 93 so far, 24 likes. Nation, what the fuck are we doing? Break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash a bell. We should be closer to 90 or above right now. It is what it is. I'm going to make sure that we are good right now. And I believe that we are. So the second they take to the podium, we will have the presser live and in its entirety for each and every single one of y'all. It is now 3:14, so I got some time to hang out with you guys. We got work in about 2 hours. This is day 3. Wait, Tuesday? Yeah, this is day 3 of the 14 hours. We got one more after, and yeah, so we will be live for those that are unaware, for those that are under a rock. What up, Leaky? What up, Boost? We will be live on Sunday. I believe Graf said we're starting at 12:45 Eastern Time, 9:45 a.m. Pacific Time. Week 1, we head to New England to face Drake May, Mike Vrabel, Josh McDumbass, and the New England Patriots up at Gillette Stadium. So make sure to pull on up for that. You know how we do on game days, and that's, for us, this is tradition. I believe this is our 3rd year together doing live games, so keeping up with tradition, just like our Raiders do. Raider Bebop, what's good? Stephen Gilmore season. You think they're going to go that route, or do you think they're going to pretty much feel out the cornerback room for the first few weeks to determine if they in fact need to press a panic button and go after Stephon Gilmore? Appreciate each and every single one of y'all pulling on up. Salute to the 93 in here. Guys, hit that like button. Doesn't cost you a fucking thing. Now we're at 26. Please don't let McDaniels cook us. Yeah. Oh, God. I'd lose my shit. Saw Graf put out OBJ as option. Thoughts on that? I'm not a fan of it. OBJ is fucking washed. I said it. I don't give a fuck. I said it. OBJ is washed. I'm not doing it. Absolutely not. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3-time champ is in the building. Yes, reminder, today is Happy Football New Year, as first game of the season kicks off tonight. Dallas and Philly. Our pigskin pick'em is up. We have 28 people in there. We should have a hell of a lot more. There's 100 people in here. I think a bunch of you guys should go over to ESPN.com. or the ESPN app. Go to, it's the ESPN Fantasy app, and join our pigskin pick'em, man. I'm so excited. And again, we are trying to dethrone Desert Raider. So where is it right now? I'll put it on the screen real quick for you guys. I have a feeling that it's going to be the Eliminator one, because it always seems to happen. Yep, the Eliminator Challenge is the first one. Let's get this other one. Let me see if I can find the other one. Add panel. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Scan that QR code in the bottom left corner of your screen right now to sign up. The group password is compete with a capital P 2025. Sign on up. It's free. Come on, y'all. We need to dethrone Desert Raider. I'm not trying to see 4 years in a row. Absolutely not. OBJ, what has he really done? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. That's why I'm good. Really? It's an app. You don't have to look at anything else. Come on, dude. Really? Appreciate everybody that's in here. We're waiting for the start of this presser. We are looking at the latest installment of
As the Shield Turns.
And again, today's presser is offensive coordinator Chip Kelly and defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. The second they step to the podium, we will have it for you live and direct. I'm sorry. And again, those coming on in, for those that are under a rock, breaking news. Amari Cooper has announced his retirement, y'all. Again, he signed with us a week ago. Somewhat of a journeyman after his first stint with us in Oakland. And now he is officially retired after signing with us a week ago. So, again, my initial reaction. Fuck! And I got a text before. One of my guys. Salute to Jake. You guys know Jake. He's a Chargers fan. He's like, so Amari Cooper retired? LOL. So the Chargers still have no rings? LOL. Stop it. Amari's flown to Coop. I like that. That actually would have been a really good title for today. Martin, that was a really, really good one. He knew he wasn't going to be the number one receiver. Where the fuck was he going to be a number one receiver, honestly? Where the fuck was he going to be a number one receiver? He said, can't stand ESPN, but okay with YouTube. Yo, too much. And today's the first day of school out here for all the kids, so it's a bit of a nightmare. I might actually have to get out of this house a little earlier than normal. I'm taking that off the screen. I hope you guys did click it and register. Again, it is free. See if there's any other around the league news. See if there's any other notifications that have popped up in the last couple of minutes. Don't see anything at the moment. And you guys know, again, it's 3:20 now, so the latest injury report, the most updated injury report, should be out in the next hour and a half or so. He said I'm available as a consultant. I'm weak. Amari just planned a trip to Vegas. Thought might as well make it a business trip. Good God. This 19 in the eliminator. Run them entries up. There you go. Yo. Desert, it's so funny because Desert is actually like really staying on top of this stuff, and I look at it periodically, and I feel like the numbers are incredibly low for people like, oh, I want to get in on this, I want to do that, Yeah, we have 19 in the eliminator. We have how many? 28 in the pick'em. You know what's funny? I don't think Graf is in either one of them. So I'm gonna have to hit him up when we finish this live and be like, dude, what are we doing? I thought you wanted to dethrone Desert. Like, what's going on here? Extend Jacoby and run with our young guys. Adam, I have no objection to that in any way, shape, or form. I've said this before the whole thing came up in terms of he wants a trade, I felt, in my opinion, that the writing was somewhat on the wall, that they were going to let him play out his contract. If you look at the receivers that we drafted in this draft class, like these guys could potentially be the future of this franchise moving forward. We have to wait and see what happens. I'm not saying, yeah, let him walk. I'm not saying do not give him a contract extension. I've given you guys my thoughts and views on that. I've given you guys numbers that I think make the most sense. I don't know what's going to happen. And somebody asked me earlier this week, hey, do you think that Jacoby, the deal's going to get done? Again, we saw Dallas do the shit that they did last year, week one, literally an hour before game time. Dak Prescott got his extension. Yes, we're not as delusional and crazy, batshit crazy as Jerry Jones. Well, who's to say something can't get done? We'll see. We will see. Are the players we've now released that we might have kept if Coop had gone sooner or not come back? I doubt it. If he simply wanted to retire Raider, why not be transparent about it? That's a fucking fact. Yes, it absolutely has to make sense. And we had talked about this during the offseason in terms of priorities for us, in terms of people that we knew were on expiring contracts, in Colton Miller and Jacoby Myers. And I said this to you, and I'll say it again. I looked at it as your left tackle is way more important. Your left tackle is the one that needs to get a deal done. He got his deal done first. There's no reason, again, The money does have to make sense. We definitely should not be overpaying him. We should not be. We got a new subscriber in the building, and the bots are in the building too. Salute to Mopar Maniac. Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. I appreciate you. Thank you. Now I'm over here losing my train of thought. No, he's not a top tier. He doesn't deserve top tier wide receiver 1 money. And I don't know if somebody's in his ear telling him, "Oh no, you deserve that." No, you don't. Respectfully, yes, you had 1,000-yard receiving year last year in receiving. First time in your career. Okay, that's a cool story. You're not doing it consistently to where you deserve excess of $30 million and up. Come on. Bushido, what's good? This clown, that's twice now. He really told Raiders fans, "I'd rather retire than playing for the Raiders." God damn, man. Again, I'm not coming at him. I'm not being an asshole. Like, it just seems like this is shit that, of course, would happen to us. You signed him a week ago. He fucking retires. Fuck! Salute to Leaky. Appreciate you. Anthony, this is exactly why you don't get gifted memberships by people. Oh my God. We're still waiting. I'm looking at this rotating shield. I'm hoping I don't get dizzy watching this stupid thing. It is what it is. I don't think it's sad. I think he realized he couldn't do it. Again, he didn't look like he was in football shape, at least as a receiver, in my opinion. And again, it's not a knock, but Father Time caught up. Again, 5-time Pro Bowler. 64 touchdowns for his career. Over 10,000 yards receiving for his career. He had a solid career in the 10 years that he was in the league. It is what it is. The 1-year deal, but I think the contract can be voided, so I don't know. I'm not sure. Here to finish what I started. Yeah, pretty much it was all bullshit. Realistically. Anthony gets membership. We go into the Super Bowl. Oh my God. Yo, I'm fucking done. I'm done. Y'all are too much. They are, what, 10 minutes late already with this presser? I'm really, come on. Yesterday, I think we cut it incredibly close, but at the same time, like, I kind of dragged ass getting myself ready. And then, go figure, I get stuck at a railroad crossing for over a half hour. The train stops, the train goes in reverse for some strange reason, sits there for an additional couple of minutes, and then finally leaves. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Coop was good, but he's clearly not now. Chip! Damn, Chip looks super small at the podium.
Well, it's not much different the way Pete runs this. So, every day we have a situation, whether it be red zone, coming out, third down, something that's central to the theme of that day in training. So, we've been game planning. Obviously, we've been going against our defense in those situations, and now it's an opportunity to go against Vrabes and what he's going to do. So that part's different. But we've been preparing for scenarios that are going to occur in the game all, since we got here. OTAs were based on the same exact thing. So, but it is a different opponent, and it counts. So that's the biggest thing that we're excited about.
Obviously, you expect the guys to get better and better and more well-versed with your playbook every day. How do you feel they are right now heading into week one?
They're doing great. I think part of it leads from Gino, because Gino's been around. He's played for a lot of coaches. He's been in the league for a while. There's been a lot of collaboration with him. He's got a great point of view in terms of the game of football. He's as smart a guy as I've ever been around playing the game. So, really excited about what he feels comfortable in, and that's what this deal is when we're going into these games, is what do our players feel comfortable in, because it really doesn't matter what we know, because we're not playing the game. It's really how does Gino feel in terms of the game plan, and he has a lot of input on it, and so we'll kind of roll from there.
For you as a coach, what's the difference feel being coaching on the sideline and coaching in the booth?
That's a great question. I think you can see the game better from the booth, and I think you can feel the game better from the sideline. So, I think sometimes you can't tell that.
Space piece is
hey,
good.
That corner looks like there's something wrong with him because he's in front of you and you're watching him. He looks like he's limping a little bit. You may not see it. It's a little bit more sanitized when you're up top. You're just kind of seeing how they're deployed. Is it a 7-man spacing or 8-man spacing with the front? What are they playing coverage-wise? Are the corners playing inside leverage, outside leverage? Sometimes when you're on the field, you can't see the leverage of the corner on the other side. He looks like he's 6 or 7 yards off, but he's the inside.
Ron, what
outside.
up, bro?
So I've always felt like that. I think you can see the game better from up top.
It was so crazy because when they didn't have the camera zoomed in, he looked super, super small at the podium.
This whole time since he's been here and carve out a starting role for himself, how much have you seen him grow just from the time that you met him in OTAs to now as you're getting ready for week 1?
Yeah, I think he was a good product coming in, and obviously our personnel department, and really Pete was the guy that kind of fell in love with him watching the tape, and felt the same thing. As I said earlier, there aren't many people that tall and long that are that fast, but I've seen him really embrace every day, and just. I don't think he was thinking about starting or anything. He was just thinking about coming here every day he got in the building. Can I be a little bit better today than I was yesterday? And you saw him grow on a daily basis. Now, obviously, the next jump is he's played in 3 preseason games, but the preseason games and the regular season games are different. But, I expect, and I think he expects, and I think everybody here expects for him to play really well on Sunday, because we always believe that you're going to play on Sunday the way you train, and I think he trains at a really high level right now.
It'll probably go back to
it's
shit
been
when
9 years since you coached on an NFL sideline. How exciting is that for you personally to be back on that? And then how much do you think the game's evolved?
Oh, the game's definitely evolved. I think that's a great question. And the first part, I'm really excited. The one thing about the NFL is it's the best in the world. And to go against a Mike Vrabel coach team. Mike did an unbelievable job when he was at Tennessee. He's a defensive guy. His teams are always going to be really well prepared. And so we got our work cut out for him, and that's the beauty of it. It's competition at the highest in the game I love. So, I'm excited to see how our players go perform.
You guys have brought in Amari Cooper. And looks like that's no longer on the table. Does that change anything, or was he here not long enough?
Well, I feel because he's he's a talented player now, but he called Pete this morning and had a good conversation with Pete, and I think he's just done playing. But you could still see the talent was there. But we still have today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday's practice session before we have to finalize who was up and who was down, and we hadn't made any final decisions on was he going to play in the first game or not in the first game. He was training with us and got reps and all those other things, but it was a matter of, usually I think for everybody, you're not making your final 46-man roster or 48-man roster until Saturday anyway, so we hadn't had any discussions. We said we were going to go through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we determined who was up and who was down. So, it's unfortunate because I think the world of him. I think he's a heck of a football player. He's had a heck of an NFL career, but he knows in his heart what he wants to do. So I wish him the best. I've always been a big fan of his.
Outside of Jacoby, this is a young wide receiver group.
Yeah.
That's probably good and bad, whatever, all those things. But how do you feel about the young wide receiver?
I feel good, and I think part of it for me, my comfort level as a coach is Geno is there. So having a veteran quarterback, I think if you had maybe a bunch of young wideouts and a young guy pulling the trigger, you got a rookie at the running back spot. That's a little bit different. But I think the fact that Geno's there, that Jacoby's there, Jacoby's has got a lot of reps, and then there's a lot of experience at the tight end spot. So we feel pretty good about some positions, but the other guys, that's what this league is. There's going to be
memberships right there, guys who want to support the channel.
Totally. Set in their depth at every position and got veterans playing everywhere. It just doesn't happen that way. There's some positions you feel really good about. Other ones you feel good, but you're not sure until you get them in a game. And so that's what I'm excited about, those young guys getting a chance to go play in a game.
Talk about the trust that Geno brings. You've been working with him, obviously, this whole offseason. Out behind him, these guys just got here.
Yeah.
Obviously, the plan is Geno just be healthy and play the whole game, but how comfortable are you going into the game knowing that, you haven't had those guys very long behind him?
No, that's just the NFL. That's just the way it works. Obviously, losing Aiden, who had experience in what we were doing because he was here through all of OTAs and everything in the offseason. Losing him in that Cardinal game hurt. But Kenny's played in games. That's the one thing you feel comfortable with Kenny is that he's played in games. Now he's still learning the terminology. He's worked extremely hard, but he's got varsity. He's got NFL reps underneath his belt. So if that has to go, then we have a plan when Kenny goes in the game. What he feels comfortable in and what our offense is going to be. But if we can keep Geno upright, then that would be a good thing for us.
Obviously, the Patriots
So good.
Obviously, the Patriots have a new staff, but what sticks out to you about the front seven that they have on defense there?
Yeah, really formal. I think that, there may be 9 new starters on that defense, so a couple of Barmore was there before. Milton Williams is coming off a Super
I wouldn't
Bowl.
mind that.
Harold Landry is a player that everybody in this league knows about. So I think, the strength of their defense is going to be that front seven. And that's what you got to be prepared for. But the game of football is always one up front. It's a battle of the offensive lines and the defensive lines in this league. And when you're really solid at, you got a shot. So I think that battle between our O line and that front is going to really tell you what's going to go on in this football game.
You guys a little bit,
You can let him go.
a little bit light on the number of receivers on the roster right now. Obviously, you have guys on the practice squad, but how beneficial is it to have as deep of a tight end room as you do and be able to use 12 personnel, 13 personnel?
Well, it's the same. I mean, we'll have 5 or 6 guys active on game day, just like the Patriots will have 5 or 6 guys active. So there's not there's nobody in this league that's going in with 8 or 9 receivers on game day. It's just the way the NFL roster
Crazy.
is. So, we're gonna have the same amount of receivers as everybody else. It's I think a couple of our receivers don't have as much experience, but there's other people places like that. I know. You look at the Patriots roster; they've got some young guys that made it at the wide receiver spot. They got some young guys that made it at the running back spot. So, that's this league. There's such a churn on the rosters for everybody in this league, whether you're the Raiders or the Patriots or whomever. Very rarely are you sitting pat on where you are in terms of who you got. You can just look at the game tonight. That team that the Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champs, but that defense is drastically different than the team that won the Super Bowl for them. You talk about the Cowboys and you're talking about Micah. Well, all of a sudden Micah's not there, and that picture changed. So that's just the NFL. So it's what teams can groove over the 17 game season that you play, and who can stay healthy. That's the other part that's a big thing in this league. The attrition part of this league is a real big deal as you go. So the one thing I think we feel real confident in our group is that besides Aiden and Lonnie, we've got everybody that started camp with us that was here for the roster. We had to add Kenny and we had to add a guy on defense, but besides that, the guys that were here through the spring and went through all of the summer with us are the guys we're going to go to battle with, and we're excited about that. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, there you guys have it. Chip Kelly with his presser. We will have Patrick Graham very soon. At least I hope so. Appreciate everybody that's in here. The 172 in here. Damn, that was quick as fuck.
Absolutely. He's one of the best competitors I've ever been around. One of the smartest coaches I've ever been around. Understands all 3 facets of the game. Appreciative of him bringing me out here when he brought me out here, and then the things I learned from him. He's a great football coach, better person, has a great family, and just happy to see him coaching again. Because the guy could coach ball. He could coach ball.
How different is week 1 preparation when you don't have as much game film to go on with the personnel they have compared to maybe later on in the season?
It's different, but each week is. The biggest thing about our league is you got to know the people. So, again, aside from a rookie, but even then you got to look at his college tape and try to have an idea. They have the 2 guys over there on our defensive right. You just watch some of their college tape and some of the preseason just to get a feel for them. But it's about the people. They have, the backs that probably going to do certain jobs. You understand the quarterback watching tape there. So before we get into the scheme and everything, each week you got to talk about the people and try to anticipate how they're going to utilize those guys. So that part's similar. What exactly they're going to do, who knows, but the people are the people.
Speaking of the people, your secondary is a young secondary. How do you use maybe the veterans in the safety room and the linebacker room to kind of help them and bring them along?
Youth experience and all that stuff, it gets overrated to a certain degree. It's about how we perform on Sunday and then how we build to that performance in practice. So whether it's a rookie, a vet, doesn't matter. It's about how we prepare and then how we perform on Sunday. So, but I'm sure the vets, they're able to help some of the young players in terms of stuff they anticipate, but all that stuff gets overrated in my opinion. I've had really good rookies that played really well their first game. I had veterans that played bad in their first game of the season. So it doesn't matter.
Do you need more of a communication thing?
Everything's communication on defense. I can't harp on that enough. Based on what the Patriots are going to do, that's going to be big. Communicating based on what we're doing defensively, we got to communicate. That's something that's common, no matter what.
There's always a curiosity level in season offers for every team across the league. But do you have a feeling of what you think that especially that young secondary is all about and what they're going to do?
I think that a lot of times they take the shape of their coach or the mold, like how the coach is molding them. And then, like for us with the secondary, you have Pete heavily involved, you have Joe and Rob heavily involved, and the thing I'm looking forward to is to see a level of toughness, because the men that are leading them, there's a level of toughness. So I'm looking forward to that. And you know, with Josh's offense, they're going to run the ball and we're going to have to tackle. So we'll find out, you know. But again, the feeling, I'm trying not to do this based on feelings. It's based on how they're performing in practice, because practice is everything. But I want to see a level of toughness, get off of blocks, tackle their ball carriers, tackle the receivers. That's what we're looking for. That's a signature of all the defenses coach has had in his career. So that's what I'm looking for.
How happy have you been with the progression of Malcolm Kuntz as he ramps up in the injury from the time he began OTAs to now going into this game?
And Malcolm's been steady, you know, steadily improving, getting more and more comfortable. And the explosion's there, the power's there, the confidence is growing. You know, I was happy to see that sack in the preseason. That was encouraging there. So pretty happy with where he's at, and really happy about him being able to play on first week of the season.
What has impressed you with Thomas Booker since he's arrived?
T-Book, I mean, he's smart. You know, I always tease the Stanford guys. That would have been a safety school for me back in the day. I just tease them. Now, my position coach from college informed me I would not be able to get into either one of those schools right now based on my grades, but smart player, really strong, plays with good balance, and his hands come straight from the ground up. That's all encouraging right there. But someone I enjoy talking football to, because he could, you know, really, he could digest it and spit it back to you, and does a good job communicating.
I can't wait to see him with the starters on Sunday.
I mean, again, he has, let's start with the arm talent. He has access to the whole field. He could throw the ball wherever. And then I would tell you that in terms of what I'm seeing, in terms of getting in and out of checks, he has an understanding of what they're trying to do. Again, that's one of the more dangerous things that a quarterback could have, the ability to get him in the right play. And he can move his feet in the pocket. So, you know, we got to do a good job of keeping him contained, make him play from within the well. But, I mean, he's a solid player overall.
How much of a threat do you think he is as a runner?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's legitimate. He was like second most in terms of yards, 476. Don't quote me on the number, but, you know, I try to keep up to the stats and stuff. But, like, I mean, this guy, he's a dangerous runner, not just as a runner, but also as when he scrambles to throw the ball. Because, again, he has the arm talent to get the ball anywhere on the field. So that's a problem.
For you, Coach, what's the difference between being in the booth and being on the field like you are now?
You know, for me, I've done both. You know, so and now I'm like in year 6 or 7 of being a coordinator, so it's a lot more comfortable doing it. One is you get the vibe of the game a little bit more, get to talk to the players directly.
Did I not say that the other day?
My eyes are trained to be able to see it, so that's okay, you know, but obviously when you're up top, it's just a little bit clearer, it's a little bit calmer. I have a Coke in my hand, you know, Diet Coke in my hand. Okay, I don't. It's a real Coke. I'm sorry. It's a real Coke in my hand. I could have a Snickers in between. I mean, none of that stuff is happening. And if I do, they'll catch me on camera. And I got to be mindful of my language because my parents are watching. They can lip read. So that's the difference.
Patrick, you know, two guys you guys brought in for the defense were Devin White and Jeremy Chin this season. What did you see from them heading into the season? What's your expectations for those two guys?
Physicality, speed, intelligence, and I gained the information on the intelligence when I met them. But they're two guys that I've used as teach tapes over my career in terms of showing like good linebacker play with Devin, in terms of with Chin showing versatility because he's been moved around all over the place and understanding that. So with those guys, everything that I thought about them, they've shown, and I'm looking forward to seeing it come to fruition on Sunday.
Thanks, Coach.
That's good. Thank you.
All right, there you guys have it. Defensive coordinator Patrick Graham with his presser. Let's get this back up. There we go. We just talked about this the other day when we did our matchup preview with Graf, talking about an X factor, and I said I had Patrick Graham as an X factor, and the main reason was this: he's going to be on the sideline. He's no longer going to be in the box this season. He's able to be live and direct with the defensive players in between series, being able to talk to them on the sideline, get a feel for them and what they're seeing as well, and make those necessary adjustments. Like, spot on. I see a lot of you guys in the chat right now talking about our DB room, talking about guys like Peppers, who has the familiarity with Patrick Graham's defense. Again, I think we go through the first couple of weeks. I think we get a feeling out for the cornerback room. And if they feel that they do need help, if they feel like they do need to push that panic button, then maybe they will revisit, make those phone calls and see what the possibilities are. But right now, it's not happening at the moment. I think realistically, from a front office standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, whether you're the head coach, whether you're a coordinator, you got to feel out these first few weeks and see what you truly have. The regular season is officially here now. You see what these guys are capable of. You see their strengths. You see their weaknesses. You see if they can hang for the 17 weeks and beyond if the playoffs happen. To ultimately make that decision, you go through the first few weeks of the season to see if you do need additional help, especially as it pertains to our cornerback room. I like our offensive line. I love our defensive line. I love our linebacking core. The receivers, running backs, you guys know how happy I am about that. The cornerback room is still something I'm very iffy about. We take it as it goes, and realistically, right now, it appears that it's going to be a week-to-week basis type deal, unless shown or told otherwise. So we shall see. Salute to the 175 in here. We have 59 likes. Again, what are we doing? We need 40 more, 41 more to be exact, for 100 likes. Break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash a bell. We've already been on 37 minutes. I don't really think there's much else to talk about. Yes, those coming in late. Amari Cooper announced his retirement. After signing with us a week ago, he announced his retirement within the last, 2 hours now. It is what it is at this point. We move on. Next man up, we move on. Was he necessarily going to be a starter? No. We already had an idea of who the starters were even before it was announced earlier this week. We had an idea of the three that we had, and it was Jacoby Myers, rookie Dante Thornton, Trey Tucker. So it is what it is at this point. Secondary by committee, exactly what I want to see. Love the sarcasm. Time to roll and just see what they're putting on the field. Thank you, 3 clicks. Absolutely. 64, get it up. No Diddy. But on that note, I think it's time for me to roll out of here. Again, I got little under 2 hours. We'll probably try to get one more live in. Maybe Saturday. We'll see. If I can get a hold of Big Mike, maybe we do the call-in show. And I got to talk to him a little bit more because I know he wanted to do post-game this season, pretty much do like post-game rants. And the post-game rants are pretty much coming from each and every single one of y'all in Raider Nation. We'll open up the vault line and hear from you guys post-game. I think it's dope. You know, I love interacting with each and every single one of y'all. You know how innovative I've been when it comes to doing what I do. And I've been loving doing the call-in shows with you guys and hearing what you guys have to say. So we will talk. We will try to figure everything out and take it from there. But on your way out, if you haven't already, break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions in the house at Hammer, built by the nation, for the nation, Raider Nation News Today. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. COVID or not, you should always remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. Till next time, y'all. Stay committed to excellence. And of course, as always, on my New York, peace, love, and positivity. And there's that part too.
And when I leave, come together like butt cheeks.
We outro, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.